Time for another edition of Shelton City Council Looking Ahead with City Manager Mark Ziegler. And Mark, study session Tuesday night, comprehensive plan and the update process. One topic, very extensive topic, though.
Yeah.
Probably a long meeting, you think?
I would imagine it'll be an hour or so. It'll probably develop a lot of conversation, a lot of questions from the council. We have 3 new council members that might not have been involved in this process previously. And it's, short subject title, comprehensive plan, but it's really appropriate that it is comprehensive. It incorporates how the city functions now and more so in the future. This is a result of legislation in 1990 that was passed by the state. The Management Act requires entities, municipalities, counties to plan with a document, right? Therefore, comprehensive plan. How we're going to provide the municipal services in the community and manage growth and protect critical areas and natural resources at the same time. So the comprehensive plan starts with the bridging process. You've got a public participation plan that will be implemented with a steering committee, public meetings, outreach, public charrettes, public hearings when we get further along. So this is a very interactive activity and process that we want people to be involved in. We want voices. We want to have multiple modes of communication. So we'll have a website, a page on the city website set up for updates, communication, and ways that people can just kind of stay informed on their own time, as well as those meetings and charrettes and outreach to civic organizations and other groups as well. So that's kind of public participation side of things. And then kind of the plan is built up with goals and objectives. So one of those might be, under the economic development section to work with, establish a downtown core that will, have more robust retail. How are we going to do that? We're going to have zoning practices that allow for maybe higher building heights or less parking required, because that brings people, it's less investment for business owner maybe to build, but also it gets people out of their cars walking. That's good for retail development. That would be moving. So those are just some examples of that. Housing is a big element there. Where is it most appropriate to maintain single family housing? Where can increased densities occur? So that means apartment complexes and multifamily housing. What kind of areas is that already in place, right? Because right now the city's comprised about 80% of our land zones neighborhood residential zoning, and it encompasses our multifamily, our apartments, our single family residences, and incorporates duplexes and triplexes. So is it more appropriate to have designated land use zones that would allow some of these uses outright and increase density? And then what kind of impacts are there, right? More traffic, so you need different streets that serve these areas, because obviously there's more people, more density. More people means potentially greater need for parks and other facilities too. So those all kind of interplay together. So these are all intertwined and work together as well. Then how do you bridge between neighborhood residential zones and then commercial zones? Typically those are mixed use zones, right? So you have less intense, right, between people live and where people live. Production is occurring. So consider that. We utilize some information from Office of Financial Management, State of Washington, about population growth, and we haven't hit those population growth for the last 3 comp plan cycles. So we need to be really conscious of what's happening there, and taking to account current data. We have a couple of subdivisions. They're going through preliminary review now. So are those likely to come to fruition? What does that mean to our population? What does that mean over the next, 10, 15, and 20 years? That population will continue to increase. At that rate, lower rate, higher rate, it's a little bit of a guessing game, but we need to forecast to understand how we're going to grow smartly, how we're going to invest our funds and resources that are available. Primarily, we don't want to growth where there's no sewer and water. So it's expensive to look at, right? So how do we progressively for that growth to give us that public? So, long-winded answer.
Right. So you're also working with the county because the what's called a UGA or urban growth area. Can you explain that and why you're working with the county? How the urban growth area in the county and the city come together, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the city limits, that's the incorporated boundaries that was managed, if you will, by the city. And then we have an area called the urban growth boundary or urban growth area that is area outside of the city limits, but considered for future growth for the expansion. So if we have a population forecast that will say in 20 years the city of Shelton is going to be at 25,000 people, obviously that growth cannot occur within the city limits. It's going to occur just outside the city limits, close to the city utilities and city services. So we designate areas that may be appropriate for that growth. That way we can plan accordingly when we're extending sewer and water services and other utilities, transportation lines. We put a road stub in this vacant property, or we just build it out and you don't have access to it for transportation purposes. So if we designate these areas for those uses, whether it's commercial, industrial, or residential, then we can plan accordingly what kind of servicing we're going to go there. We can plan concurrently with the county. So the county has some common planning practices and design and development standards that mesh with the cities within the UGA. So those urban services are very similar moving forward. If the city incorporates, we don't have, let's say, all gravel roads, right? That we inherit and the current taxpayers have to maintain and perhaps improve those roads. So we have some standards of urban development standards, much as they're adopted. So it's a good partnership to have. It's a valuable partnership and it's needed. We're happy with the county commission and city council and our planning staffs have got a lot of stuff here. And in fact, we even have the same concept assistance. So a lot of the preliminary data research that we're going into, it typically goes into each plan, can be shared. So there's some cost savings as well between the two entities to assist us in implementing this plan. And we have to have this plan by mid-25. So this is, this is a year-long process that will take place. So it's an extensive planning process, and we're really looking forward to kicking off here, starting with the study section next week.
So basically, a little more than a year and a half. So what you're going to be working on here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We're required by the state to have it done by the end of June 25.
Okay.
Our anticipation will be pretty close to that. I don't know if it'll be exactly the end of June, but it'll be a good year before we have a document that will be done.
Okay. And you get things underway on Tuesday night in your study session, 6 o'clock in the courtroom at the Civic Center. You can attend in person, you can jump on the Zoom, or you can watch on the city's YouTube channel. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.